Imagine waking up in a hospital room. You don't know how you got there. You don't know how long you've been there. And the doctors standing over you, they aren't trying to heal you. They're taking notes. This isn't a scene from a horror movie. This happened in America, funded by the United States government. And for 20 years, almost nobody knew. This is the story of MKUltra. It's 1950. The Cold War is at its peak. The United States and the Soviet Union aren't just competing in weapons, they're competing in something far more disturbing: intelligence, psychological warfare, and mind control. The CIA had received reports, terrifying ones, that Soviet and Chinese interrogators had found ways to make prisoners confess to crimes they never committed. To break a human mind completely, to reprogram a person like a machine. And the CIA's response wasn't to condemn it. It was to figure out how to do it themselves. In April 1953, CIA Director Allen Dulles officially approved a program so secret that even most people inside the CIA didn't know it existed. They called it MKUltra. The goal? Find a way to control the human mind, erase memories, implant thoughts, create the perfect weapon, a human being who could be programmed to do anything. The experiments. What followed was 20 years of some of the most disturbing human experimentation ever conducted on American soil. The CIA partnered with universities, hospitals, and prisons across the United States and Canada. 80 institutions, 150 research projects, and the people being experimented on? Most of them had no idea. Patients in psychiatric hospitals were given massive doses of LSD, not once, not twice, but for weeks and months straight. Some lost their minds permanently. Some never recovered. In one operation called Midnight Climax, the CIA set up safe houses in San Francisco and New York. They hired prostitutes to lure men off the streets. Then, without their knowledge, they dosed them with LSD and observed them through one-way mirrors. Taking notes, like they were lab rats. One of the most disturbing cases involved a man named Frank Olson, a scientist who worked for the CIA. In 1953, he was secretly given LSD without his knowledge during a work retreat. He had a severe psychological breakdown. 9 days later, he fell from a New York hotel window and died. For 20 years, his family was told it was a suicide. It wasn't until 1994, over 40 years later, that his body was exhumed. And the evidence suggested something far darker. Frank Olson hadn't jumped. He'd been pushed. The CIA had murdered one of their own. And it wasn't just happening in America. In Montreal, Canada, a psychiatrist named Dr. Ewan Cameron was receiving CIA funding to conduct experiments that sound like something out of a torture manual. He would keep patients in drug-induced sleep for weeks at a time. He would play recorded messages on loop, sometimes for 20 hours a day, trying to erase their personalities and rebuild them from scratch. He called it psychic driving. His patients came to him with depression, with anxiety, with everyday mental health struggles. They left as shells of themselves, unable to remember their own names, unable to recognize their own families. Some of them never came back to who they were, and the Canadian government had no idea their own citizens were being used as guinea pigs by the CIA. By the early 1970s, the program was falling apart. Too many loose ends, too many damaged people, too many secrets. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the destruction of all MKUltra files. Thousands of documents, shredded, gone, an entire program erased from history. Except they missed something. In 1977, a routine audit of a CIA storage facility discovered over 20,000 documents that had been misfiled, accidentally saved. And what was inside them changed everything. The documents revealed the full scale of MKUltra, the experiments, the institutions involved, the names. It triggered a Senate investigation, and for the first time, the American public learned what their own government had done to them. The CIA officially apologized. Some victims received settlements, and the program was declared over. But here's the question that nobody has ever fully answered. If MKUltra ran for 20 years without anyone knowing, if 80 institutions participated, if thousands of people were experimented on without consent, what makes you think it actually stopped? The documents they destroyed in 1973 are gone forever. Whatever was in them, we will never know. Some rooms stay locked, some secrets stay buried, and some experiments never end. If this kept you up at night, good. Subscribe to The Dark Ledger, because we're just getting started.